Hello to all my followers and friends. This is Sergio for Practical Combat. Welcome to another edition or live video of my podcast. In this opportunity, you will have some interactions to speak to me, and you guys will get to know what karate meant for me. The good side, the bad side, what I think right now of karate, what I have made of karate, and how offended and betrayed I feel by her man. You see, I'm still calling her man to protect his identity, which means I am a true man on my word. I haven't betrayed you so far, even though I have reason to expose your identity, location, martial arts training, weakness, so people will know that you are not who you claim to be. People will know how weak you are, and people will know how to find you. So that way, your online persona will be completely destroyed, and you will be forced to either retaliate with your own persona if you really believe what you think, or to shut up and keep watching from the sidelines. That's what the future holds for you, my friend. So, I want to explain to all my followers what karate meant for me. And sometimes I may be faulty because I try to compress. How are you, Mr. Tom? Nice to see you here. Please stay up because this video is gonna be a little bit interesting. Of course, I'm gonna rant a little bit on Herman, but it's gonna be mostly about karate. Because one of his points was that I was lying with my karate background. Boom! I just posted a picture when I was 15 years old. That you guys see me skinny and with a sidekick on the side. That shows that I've been doing this for a long time to a high level of skills. That kick right there is almost a 180 kick. It's like this. It's almost a 180. Okay. Thank you so much. And I just want to put things to my perspective, so you guys feel how I feel. I wasn't the strongest one, as you guys can see by the thumbnail. I wasn't the build guy that I am right now. Nothing like that. Just an ordinary, maybe taller than average, skinny guy. In school in Cuba, the classrooms are big. So you could have 60 kids in one classroom. And you could have people who have failed grades, they stay behind. Those were the problematics, because now that I'm older, I understand that that comes with frustrations, and that's what they decided to sometimes pick people like us. When one of those guys tried to pick on me, I'll be honest, 99% of the time I was losing. But I always stood myself. I always stood my ground. And those guys, those guys were physically stronger, because when you are, how are you, Dion? When you are 7 year old and you have to fight somebody who is 8 year old, hold on one second. I'm doing a live video, bro. Can we talk tomorrow? Oh, you like it? You like the video, bro? Thank you so much. I appreciate it, bro. So go online. I'm gonna talk a little bit about karate. Um, okay, talk to you tomorrow, bro. Bye. So when I was 7 years old, I got beat up really bad by an old friend. But this friend has always been fighting. He doesn't care. He's nasty when it comes to his opinion. And he would try to force his opinion on you. That was, remember, 1992. So we had a fight in the front of the whole school. The whole school. Everybody. At least 1,000 people watching us fight. He punched me twice in the head, and I remember seeing the little stars around me. And that's up to that point, with I thought that I have lived a long time, I said to myself, oh, this is what the cartoon stars like Tom and Jerry, they mean. and I couldn't do nothing. I threw a punch, and I couldn't do nothing. So my dad found out. He took his belt and he beat me. He said, Sergio, if you don't go right now with me and fight back this guy, I don't care if you win or lose. You stand to yourself. At least you try harder to beat this guy up. You need to try to beat him up. Okay? You try to beat him up or I beat you again. So he went to uh, the dad's guy who they were work together, were extremely friends. He just got there with a Havana Club bottle, say, hey, how? They both died, by the way. My dad and Havao. Hey, how? Your kid and my kid, they had a fight. Your kid has more experience. Do you think I can put my kid to fight with yours a little bit to see how they level up? Say, yeah, Lebra comes here. That's how we used to call him. And then he went outside. He came already looking forward to fight. And they sit down and we start fighting. I won that fight, but I won like by a very close margin because my dad watching made me feel stronger. Oh, and this is funny. Even the Havao was rooting for me. He was telling me, Sergio, hit faster, or Lepra's gonna beat you. Hit faster, be faster. So once that happened, the guy told me, oh, and that was the last day of the course. He told me, once I come back from vacation, I'm gonna be waiting for you in the school's door to fight you again. You're gonna have to fight me every day of your life. And I said, okay. So I was not concerned about at that point anymore. I was a little bit afraid, but my confidence went up. And we watched Bloodsport. When I watched Bloodsport, I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. And then my dad took me to my first martial art master. His name was Veloso. And guess what? My dad said that he taught me boxing, that he took me to a coach that we have there in the town in Cuba, Tito Cheya. You guys can Google him up, look for him up. And yeah, he was amazing. My dad was amazing. But I do not remember that. I do not remember that. This is, I'm trying to find a picture of Veloso, how he looks right now. So, the first martial art that I took was Taekwondo, was not karate. But we used to call him karate back then. So, once we were like 3 months back in Taekwondo, so when he explained the background, he took the Taekwondo straight from the Koreans. They went to Cuba and they taught Taekwondo. Also in Cuba we had Kyoksu. Kyoksu was from North Korea. It's a self-defense martial art. It's a martial art that the army uses to fight Cuban people. So anyway, Veloso moved out of town. But before he moved out of town, he took me to the next town close to mine, which was 2 kilometers away. Imagine in Cuba having no transportation, 2 kilometers that I had to walk for many years or run. Cuba that at that time didn't have, how are you, Steve? Cuba that at that time didn't have, like, at the time they were entering into what we call el periodo especial, the special period, was when the Russia stopped supporting Cuba and the Berlin Wall came down and Russia became what is now today. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I went to the barber shop and they did me like the Spartan cut. By the way, I have your t-shirt right here. So, me in Cuba, I was trying to learn karate to defend myself better. So I went to karate in the next town. The name of the sensei was Lionel. He did explain, this guy did give us a lot of, this is my first martial arts teacher, Veloso. But again, look at the poverty in Cuba. Look how they are. That's how you live there. It's different than here. It's completely different. It's something else. This is my first martial arts teacher, Veloso. And anybody could ask him, if you guys found him on Facebook, he says to everybody, he cannot be more proud of myself and what I achieved. So anyway, thanks to that guy, I'm the person who I am today. Because he always, even though he left my town and he left me in another sensei's hands, he would come every week to my house to see how I was doing. And he made sure, because I had times that I wanted to stop karate, that I stopped like for a month or 2 months, that he would call me so I could back to train karate. So I'm explaining what karate meant for me and giving the backstory. So I start learning karate. I get to karate from a Taekwondo school. The stances were different. There was a lot more hands involved, even though this guy did teach the real Taekwondo with the Taekwondo punches, and he make us spar using hands. This guy Veloso, he make us spar and go to competition using hands. Anyway, I go to karate. They tell me, Sergio, the karate style that we're doing here is Shorin Ryu Yoshimon. We're gonna call this style Yoshimon in the name of the master, Josu Ikeda. Josu Ikeda passed away a few years ago. This style is the one that we have. It came straight from Japan and is completely supervised by the military. I would train for 3 hours for 5 days a week. Guess what? I was not the best in the karate class. I was not the worst. I would say I was in the middle up. Like, let's say you have the guy who can't learn anything, the absolute disaster, and you had the best guys, Eduardo, Manoli, Ollantay. You had the best guys that they will go to the competitions and they win flawlessly. They will get the kicks the first time they see it. I was not there. I was here. Not here, not here. I was here. I was in the middle, maybe a little bit on top. Why? Because I love karate. So the training will go. I'm explaining to you, Herman, so you understand what karate means for me. So how I feel offended, and if I have you in front of me, you need to understand I will slap you really hard for being a bad bitch. And you need to understand that you betrayed me and backstabbed me because I'm ahead of you. So since I am ahead of you, I am in front of you, you only have access to my back, so you can only backstab me. Because if you were side to side or front to front, this will be a fight. But this is why bitches like you, Herman, and bitches like Santiago can only backstab, because you don't have the cojones. And it would take me a whole night to explain you what cojones is. You don't have the understanding what a big pair of cojones have. So you can, hello Andres, understand. Oh, and Andres is witness of everything that happened in the Spanish community with Santiago and all these guys. So, again, Herman, you and Santiago don't have the big cojones to understand what a man is. And when I mean a man, I don't care if you're gay or whatever. I mean how to act, how to respect, how to perform. What you did, bro, you are a bitch because you did it from my back. Again, that's the only thing you can reach because I'm ahead of you in life and in martial arts and in many things. Okay? So, my friend, I am training karate. I'm not the best at karate, but I kept trying. We will get there and we will have to run 2 kilometers. I had already walked or run 2 kilometers to go to karate class. So we will have to do 100 push-ups. We will have to do 100 sit-ups. We will have to do at least exactly the maximum. We will have to do at least 5 pull-ups. We will have to do at least 100 abs before the classes start. This is the warm-up. You will get every year, because we saw that year after year. We will get every year 40, 50 students, the whole classroom filled up with people, and you will see how they will start breaking down. And after all that finished, and I will stay hours in Chikodachi throwing sukis to the air without understanding why I was throwing sukis to the air. I would spend hours, Herman. What I remember right now, I still remember looking down and seeing my legs in Chikodachi and Kibadachi, not seeing the fucking difference, or like, why? How this makes me better, and my leg shaking. So I could finish my class, and I had to run back. Being an 8-year-old guy, I had to run back 2 kilometers to go back to my house. And I had to do that Monday to Friday, and sometimes Saturdays. We had what we call repaso. I'm sorry, Herman, if by not having internet at that time, I couldn't know that at that time There were other styles like Kyokushin or, I don't know, Chotokan, I don't know, Chitoryu. Sorry if I didn't have the information because I was in a country that the information was controlled and the information was power and I couldn't know. Oh, by the way, I only had just one gi, but I would call it how I like it, kimono, how we used to call it in Cuba. I only had one kimono my whole life. I had one kimono which I managed to get from Venezuela. My grandmother, she's still alive. She brought it from Venezuela and was probably one of the few kimonos in the whole school. We had to go to, I don't know how to say costurera. Helen, ¿cómo tú dices costurera en inglés? ¿Cómo tú dices costurera en inglés?
Seamstress.
¿Cómo?
Seamstress.
Seamstress? The people who make clothing with needle and all that. We had to take white sheets to try to make a kimono, and they didn't last because we didn't have kimonos, and we didn't have belt either. So the only way was to take like a blanket and sew them like double and try to make the belt. I remember her man, seamstress. That's how you said it. Thank you so much. And no, one of my subscribers texted out the word. And I remember her man, I only had a white belt. The yellow belt, yeah. But you will see what I'm getting. The yellow belt was, I remember my mom had a blanket that she used to cover me to sleep. And she had to take a piece of the blanket and cut it out, double, and use the machine to make me the belt. When I would go at night to sleep, because of karate, I would pull the blanket and my feet were cold. Or I would put down and then I would be cold up because we had to take the blanket to do my fucking yellow belt. That took me 2 fucking years to get. 2 fucking years, motherfucker. 2 fucking years, many hours, moving that fucking school up and down in Senkusu Dachi, Kiba Dachi, Chico Dachi, Neko Dachi, and all the stances, throwing sukis to the air and wondering for hours how I'm gonna be able to use this to fight. Because let me tell you something, when the time came to fight, little bit was useful. The blocks, they were really good, especially at that time, guys would come with the haymakers. But let me tell you what happened. When I was already feeling better, when I could do the front kick and the round kick with the right leg, that's what I could do when I was at least almost 9 years old. I had the stances figured out, I had the katas figured out. I would do beautiful katas who would spar really hard. I would land a really good yakosuki. I had a really, really good yakosuki. Oh, by the way, we used to call this suki and this yakosuki. When I got to America, I found out that here, since there is more access to information, they would call this oisuki, which is the front hand, like the jab. But in Cuba, and when you look at the manuals, the hosuki at the left, he used to call it suki, the one in the front, and the one from the rear was yakosuki. So you understand. And there were a lot of difference. Like for instance, here in America, you have to punch and come back. In Cuba, they tell you that you have to go through the target and come back. So they didn't want a simple punch. They wanted you to go through the target. They wanted full contact. So I'm trying to make you understand. Oh, by the way, if I didn't do karate, how the hell can I do the yakosuki so fine and well? Anyway, I remember I struggled a lot because I always moved the shoulders forward a little bit. I always struggled with that. And the sensei would come and correct me every single class. I remember spending hours here, man, in front of a wall. So I would do this, so the shoulders are forward, then I would put it back. I would be straight, then I would get into position, and then whoop, whoop, for hours. Because when I was in an empty space, I would tend to overreach. So, Herman, I went through all those struggles. I cannot make this up. This is something that only a really, and a truly karate practitioner will go through in life. You understand? So, when I grew up enough that my kimono didn't fit me, I had to go to a karate class in shorts and white t-shirt. So, well, at least my karate is recognized in Japan and in many countries because it comes from a Japanese federation. You guys can check it out. And you guys can check it out, the lineage that we have. In this case, my lineage comes from Jose Queda to Rizzo, and then from Rizzo to Lionel, and Jesus Acosta was Lionel's master. He's right now in Hialeah. Anybody can go and check out my credentials with him. If you guys have questions about that, it will verify. It will be in this case technically like my, in this case, Chihan, my grandmaster, because he was the sensei of my sensei. I was able to meet him here in USA. Jesus Acosta is the owner of the local that you guys see my friend Sifu Javier, where he trains. I post thousands of videos of that school here. So Jesus Acosta, in this case, all the knowledge I have come from him. 2 years ago, he stopped a robber using karate. It was all over the news. You guys can Google it up. So, that being said, my karate has a lineage and is completely and 100% traceable, and you can prove it. We went to a lot of competitions. I was a national champion. That picture that you see there was me after beating up everybody in the national champions there. But I would say that wasn't fair because, yeah, it's very easy. And not only that, since karate was in Cuba militarized, we have what we call a tomo and a folio. Is there any way to say that in English, Helen? Tomo and folio? Helen? See, I have a question. Tomo and folio. Is there any way to say that in English? Okay, I got it. I know how it is. We have a file number and an exam number, period. Tomo and folio. So where once you finish the exam, they will take it, they will put it on a folder, and they will take it to the index. The index at that time was supervising the karate and martial arts. So they will have a file per practitioner, or so they said. So every exam that I took has a tomo and a folio. And it's the same tomo, it's a different folio. Again, tomo and folio. So they will give you a little like ID, to call it, that would explain what level you are. So anywhere in Cuba and the world, since the federation was international, that you could travel, you could say, here is my ID or carnet. This is my level. I am 10Q, I am 9Q, I am 5Q, I am 2Q, I am first Dan. That's what we will get. So, now let's talk about the sacrifices. My dad, when we had competitions, let me tell you something, the competitions were not held in my town. We had to travel to Havana, or we had to travel to the middle of Cuba in bicycle. So we had to take a bicycle, me, my dad, and my friends, and go in a bicycle for 2 or 3 days. We will have to, there are no hotels in Cuba. We either know somebody on a town, and we would call or show up and explain, hey, I'm here with my kid. My dad did that many times with his friends. It was very love and dear. He would go there and say, hey, my kid has a competition in the next town. Yes, sir, there were full contact. My kid has a competition in the next town. He will go to a friend's house, say, can we stay here? And being Cuba very poor, and 2 or 3 generations on one family living on a house, I said, yes, but I don't have a room. And then either the people from the house will sleep on the floor or we will sleep on the floor. We put a blanket on the floor and we will sleep there. If we were lucky, sometimes, man, sometimes, motherfucker, you know what we did? And I'm trying not to cry. This happened twice. We went in a town that we know nobody, and my dad would sit down in one of the parks, because in Cuba the structure of the towns is like a big park, and there is a church in the middle. So all around the parks there are a lot of plants. So my dad would sit down and he would put like the backpack, my backpack there, and I would put my head there. He would, put a blanket, let me sleep all night. Just imagine a 9-year-old kid, just because I wanted to compete. And then my dad would stay awake or try to sleep on the bank the whole night. And then at 6 a.m. he would wake me up. He would give me a glass with water with sugar. Just that was my breakfast. And then he would continue with the bicycle. Another 50 miles. With a Russian bicycle, let me show you how heavy it is. Oh, Cuba is not flat, we have mountains, okay? You guys need to see it. This is exactly the bicycle. Bicicleta Cuba. Bicicleta Cuba. There you go. This is the bicycle that my dad used to have. Oh, which by the way, Herman, my dad will have to take a chain to the bicycle and put the chain around his leg to the little seat on the park, because there were people that when you would fall asleep, they would go running and take the bicycle away. So then we will get to the competition. How rested you think I was? And I will fight. And I will lose a few rounds, but I always end up winning. Because my dad would look at me and say, remember what we went through. If you lose that fight, you fight with me. Remember what we went through. And then after you finish that, we will go back. Let's say, let me give you an idea. Cuban map, just to give you an idea, so you guys understand. From Havana to Centro. Because we have a saying that says, view makes faith. So, Havana to Santa Claras. That on a map looks close, right? It's like 200, 300 kilometers. Google it up. Put on YouTube how to travel in Cuba. So you will see how hard it is. And then we'll go the way back. And after all that, and me competing, when I would go back to school, and I would go to a different places, I would still feel that I wouldn't know how to fight. Let me tell you what happened with karate. Because when I was fighting people, I would hit them really hard on the mouth. Sometimes that would stop them. They would throw my haymaker. I would do a heuk and hit them and throw a round kick to the head. Oh, by the way, if you know any karate, I'm just describing one of the bunkais, one of the easy katas. No katas, the bunkai taken from the kata. One of the easy techniques, a heuki, a kosuki, mawashi. How do I know the name, brother? So, block, punch, kick. And then you will hear the guys in the circle telling him, he's a karate guy. Get him on a show. Get him on a show. And guess what, Herman? When they put me on a show, I didn't know what to do. I would sometimes lose. I would sometimes win. Just because I had more cardio. Because I would train hard like a motherfucker, brother. But that's what karate meant for me. And I was trying and going through the belts, trying to find a way how to defend myself. And then I would go to my sensei and say, hey sensei, I had a fight yesterday with this guy. He told me that on Monday he would want to fight with me again. And he grabbed me on this choke. What do you do? And he said, well, you are now a green belt. That's on the brown belt defense part. I cannot give it to you because I have a course to go. Sensei, but I need your help. This guy attacked me. I'm minding my own business. Same way like the little bitch. What's the name of the little bitch? The talking cheap haters. Haters, the talking bitch. Came here to attack me and trying to mind in an issue that is not his issue. Same way people will do that in real life. People, you will be sitting down with a book reading, and they will go, what are you reading? Oh, I'm just reading the textbook because I have a test tomorrow. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I want that book. Why? This is not your course. I want it for my sister. Let me take the book. You don't take nothing, bitch. And then I will have to stand up for myself because daddy and mommy were not there for me. Like for Santiago, that daddy and mommy were there to protect him. In Cuba schools, your dads are not there to protect you. You're away from your mom and your dad for a long time because that's how the regime make us go to school. So I had to protect, look, me. I had to protect me. Right and left. That's it. And then I have to fight those people, bro. Do you think I had time to be thinking that maybe the kimono, how we used to call it, had another name in Japan or USA? We didn't even know what was outside. You know what I knew? That I had to stand up from there fast, and I had to do a senkuso dachi, which is the step, and do a preemptive strike if the guy was twice my size. And then I would kick him, and kick him, and kick him, and he would keep coming forward. And you know what I did? Keep coming forward too. And at the end, he would grab me by the neck and I wouldn't know what to do. So I'm sorry and excuse me if my level of theory, like Santiago's theory, was not up to that level. I was there to survive. That's what I had, and I was training. I was there to train to survive, brother. And then just to go to my teacher or my sensei to ask him, can you help me out? What can I do? This guy just picked on me. What can I do to defend myself? He did this to me. What do I do, sir? And he would say, I'm sorry, Sergio. You are just a green belt. We have a protocol and a program to follow. You need to wait. And he would tell me, use what you already have. I said, Sensei, but I hit him with a Yakusuki and he didn't break. And what did you do? He said, I moved back. And then I did a senkuso and did another Yakusuki, Sensei. And what happened? Nothing, Sensei. And then I kicked him in the ribs. And he felt a little pain. And then when I tried to kick him again, he grabbed me by the neck. Oh, you should have gone into a karate stance and do the blocks. I said, Sensei, I couldn't do it because he was faster. He was moving as I was kicking. And okay, I got into a position. What do? I said, you're dismissed. Go back to the file. Go back to your line. Go back to the line. We used to say in Spanish, fila, file. Go back to la fila. You have to keep going the class. And then I would be the whole fucking weekend thinking, how the hell I'm gonna do on Monday? And you know what? Monday always came. And they keep coming back. Just like little retard talking cheap. That he just come out of nowhere. Nobody has called him. Nobody has talked to him. This business has nothing to do with him. He just decided to jump in. And he just decided to challenge me. By the way, challenge accepted. You have to come to Miami because I'm willing to travel for Herman. But I am not willing to travel for you. Because you are not worthy for me. Because I have no issues with you. Because I don't know you. It's that simple. But I know Herman. That's why I feel betrayed for Herman. So anyway. And the moment will come. And guess what? It will happen the same way. Only that this time I will throw... I will be nasty, man. I will be a nasty person. I saw that movie Double Impact from Van Damme, the one that he did a headbutt. You know what I did, bro? I did a fucking yakusuki to the guy. I did my fucking roundhouse kick. Then I watched Yeti do the ribs. And when the guy came at me to try to grab me, I headbutt him. Did another yakusuki and headbutt him. And then I did a kick to the head. End of the story. Only to recall back to the direction and telling me that I was a threat, that I was a weapon. I couldn't sleep Friday, Saturday, Sunday, thinking that this guy was going to get me on a choke. I didn't attack the guy. The guy came to attack me again. And when I defended myself, they would tell me I was a little weapon. That's what karate meant for me, bro. I had the means to defend myself partially, and I tried to do with what I partially got from the karate classes to defend myself. There were a lot of stuff in karate that didn't work for me, that worked for other people. Like for instance, the karate sweep, which by the way, this is one of my always confusion. But again, this is just a confusion for me. It's not a confusion for nobody else from the school. El Ashibarai and Jedan Barai, the downward block, and the Ashibarai is the sweeping karate. So you see, I'm talking to you with terminology. I don't have the software with me. Sometimes I would say this was Achibarai. No, and it was a Hedan Barai. So I would get confused. And sometimes talking with Santiago, I would get confused. And the little bitch would get, he would have said to my face because he would know that I fucking explode with him. Then he would say on my back. Of course, he was only in the back because he was born in Argentina. He was fucking born in paradise. He had food. He had mommy to protect him. I have looked myself. That's it. Myself and defending my little brother. That's it. I was the big guy of the house. That's it. And I always had to fight. Like right now, I still have to fight. And that's a history of my life. And I feel proud of fighting like that. And I feel proud of what I have accepted. And I have embraced my destiny. And if my destiny is fighting, I will always fight, brother. So, again, just looking at example, I didn't look for little bitch haters in. He just came at me. And if he comes to Miami, I want to tell you something. All my fights, guys, I'm always holding back. I'm always holding back. Always. And you can look at my body language. I swear on my kid, I'm always holding back. If he comes to Miami, I think it's gonna be time for me to let go. It's gonna be time for me to let all my power go out. So you guys feel and see what I can do. And you guys are gonna be impressed. You have never seen what I can do. I have sent a few videos to Dion. Dion knows what I can do. Dion has seen the injuries. Dion has seen how many bones I have broken just by kicking and punching with pads, with boxing gloves, breaking to people's ribs. I'm always having constant care of not breaking something or someone. Because if I lose control, even for a second, somebody could get hurt. It's that simple. It's that simple. So when haters come, and I swear this on my kid, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna make it sound waiver, and I'm gonna fight with everything I have. So you guys can see what happened to the brokers. So anyway, that's what karate was for me. I feel disrespected, Herman, by you. I feel disrespected by Santiago's because you guys don't have my history. You guys don't know what we have come through. We come from different paths. You come from a path that you guys were rich. You guys had Coca-Cola. I didn't have that. You guys had sugar. We didn't have that. You guys had shoes. We didn't have that. You guys have time to get books to study karate like Santiaguitos. I didn't have that. I just have the training and the sessions. That's it. And my spirit to continue forward. And I think that karate failed me. And I think that my instructor failed me. And I told him, last time I was in Cuyoga in 2014, I met him. He was in a restaurant. So Sensei, how are you? I give him a big hug. And I say, hey, I want to tell you something. After many years of training karate with you, I felt that karate failed me. I felt that you failed me. And I explained why he failed me. He said, I'm sorry. I didn't have an answer for you. Why? I didn't know how to defend myself from the choke. But you were my student, you look up to me. If I would have told you that, he would tell me that was not in the karate curriculum how to defend myself. And he was only a second degree at the time. He told me that later on he discovered the defenses for that were in the next belts. So guys, that's my story about karate. That's how I feel disrespected by you, bitch. Herman, Cole, if you are a man, or go. That's it. I have finished my dissertation, my explanation of what karate is for me. Any questions? Is everything clear? Are we okay? Nothing else to answer? Okay, that's it. Thank you for everything, guys. Thank you for keeping true. Take care. Have a good day. More videos are coming. And hopefully, hopefully, hopefully haters in calm so I can show him what I can do. I don't want to hear a comment from anybody telling me later. I don't want to hear a comment from anybody of my subscribers if that guy comes, because again, I don't have an issue with him, that I abused him, that I went beyond what I could do. I don't want any comments of that. With Herman, if he decides to fight, I will show him mercy. Okay? If he decides to call me and apologize, it's fine. I am such a gentleman, Herman, that I haven't given your phone number out, your address out, your real name out, or your fake emails. I haven't done that yet. You know I can do that. Remember, I have your emails. I haven't provided to anybody the fake accounts that you use to insult people that you claim to be their friends. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the other people that you want to insult. I am not doing that, sir. Because I am a man of my word. Because I promise you that I won't betray you. By you forcing my hand, by talking trash behind my hand, behind my back, to try to destroy my reputation, to try to destroy what I have done. But there is something you cannot do, bro. You cannot change history. It doesn't matter what you do, Herman. It doesn't matter what Santiago said, Herman. What happened already happened, and it happened once and for all eternity, and it's in the past. And I can bring here 1,000 witnesses to talk about how much I trained karate, how many years I did it, and the place and the location. Everybody will tell you the same. People still befriend me on Facebook and say, "Hey, Sergio, the karate guy, I remember." So, fuck you, bitches. Fuck you. You and little Santiago watching black dick guys on the internet. That's what he does on his free time.